But I also think, to go back to what your question is, what your statement was, I also think it depends on the woman, because, to go back what Lucy says, the job I have, I'm in charge from the time I wake up to the time I leave that building. I talk all day. I come in the building. This is what we're going to do today. 5, 6, 7, 8. Let me make this decision. Let me make this call. I'm making decisions 12 hours every day. I would love to have a man say, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're not going to do. But, and I don't mean like, but this is what I'm not going to do. However, I'm not just going to leave behind any Tom, Dick, and Harry that hasn't demonstrated that he has the capability to lead. Like, to me, if I am dating you and decisions that you have made, like, oh, let's go jump off a bridge, how is that going to benefit me? Like, if you have demonstrated that you can make decisions that benefit us as a unit, or you know what I'm saying? Like, if you have made decisions that that can benefit, if you have demonstrated that you're able to lead, I will follow.
So,
If
question.
you have, yes.
Wait. So,
because sometimes you get, I mean, and that's even in an everyday job. Like, you can have a project manager you'll be like, this shit ain't gonna work. Like, no, like,
so
this ain't gonna work.
What I'm about to ask you is what you just said, and that goes with a lot of the stuff that happens, which is, why is it that, okay, my manhood has to be on display for everybody all day, every day? If I'm not being a man, it's you. But as a woman, well, I'll submit. So it's conditional. I'll submit if he shows. I'll do if he, but he has to do in order to, so in order for him to get the submission, I have to. So the point is, why is it I guess the conditional of, well, once the guy does, then I'll do.
Okay, so let's look at it this way. So
Put your hands down, Lucy.
let's say me and you were dating, and I say, yeah, I can be a great stepmom to your kids. And all I have demonstrated is I know how to walk a dog. You gonna trust me to be around your kids to be a stepmom?
But I'm not gonna tell you that in order for me to allow you to be around my kids, I have to see you. So you have to come in showing me, hey, I'm gonna be a good stepmom in order for me to even like it. Because what you were saying
But
was,
my thing
well, I'll
is,
submit
I'm
if.
not. My thing is, James, I'm not telling you, James, in order for me to submit to you, this is what I'm watching you. Now, if you say, Kendra, let's go rob a bank, ain't no way in hell am I gonna submit to my man to tell me let's go Bonnie and Clyde this
So
shit out.
submission
No.
is wait. So submission is conditional and or
Like,
as you see fit.
if we're dating, there are things that I should be able to automatically see in you as a person, just as a person, not as a human being.
Tag me.
Go.
Dang. You black boy. Okay, listen to me. You gonna say,
man, black man.
Why should my manhood be on display?
But your feminism doesn't have to be. You can choose to be feminine if he does XYZ.
James, okay, we talking about all this stuff a man used to do, right? All this stuff, you a man, woo. Okay, do that then. If you talk about why I gotta be conditional, you are stepping into the future of men, like what we have right now. You like, well, I don't want to do all of that. Okay, well, you could just be these men that we have today that ain't doing shit. Or you're going to be the man that we need you to be, or whatever a man is, because your manhood is on display, because you is a man. Now,
But okay.
I also want to say this.
Mm-hmm.
What do I want to say?
Because I mean, I'm.
Oh, that sounded really good.
It did, Joe. I want you to know
I
that.
would give that like an 11. I like that one.
Because the point I'm making is, I feel like masculinity is mandatory, femininity is conditional and optional.
Right, because if you're not there, then we're gonna have to step into our masculinity.
But that's okay. So then that's bullshit. Because wait. I have a 14-year-old daughter that lives with me.
Okay.
You'll never hear me running around saying, "Well, I have to step into my femininity, and I have to." Hey, women only say these things.
Your masculinity should always be there. It has.
So why doesn't your femininity have to always be there?
Because I don't have no man here, so my trash got to get taken.
But I ain't got no woman here, so I got to. But I'm again, you missing the point of
you ain't
as a guy
into your feminine as a single dad.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
Mm-hmm. And you taking your own trash out is not stepping into your masculinity.
It is.
No, you just taking out the trash. It's just a task that you're completing.
When women say I got to be the mother and the father,
that's bullshit.
Okay, but a woman feels like because
it don't matter. It don't matter how they feel. We talking about facts.
Because there is no man here.
Mm-hmm.
I have to do. I be fixing shit in my apartment.
Mm-hmm.
If my man was here to fix shit, I would have him.
So what up? Let me explain to you. I have a 14-year-old daughter. Found out about her 3 years ago. Her mom died from COVID. Mm-hmm. She has no mom. I'm the sole parent. Mm-hmm. So I have to adjust how I deal with her because I know she doesn't have that other side that my other children have. But you'll never hear me going around going, I had to be the mama and the daddy. Because if I say that as a man, everybody, that's weird. But when women say it, it's acceptable.
Do you want?
I don't step into femininity.
And I'm going to say this, and that is probably, James, a society thing, because since, like we said at the beginning of this, for the longest time when men were not in the house, what was it? Mom had to play dual roles because men 20, 30 years ago were not in the picture. Nowadays, you do have a lot of men who, yes, are being mothers and fathers. So
we're just being fathers, but we're not being moms and dads.
What I'm saying is that, yes, for you to sit up there and verbally say that out loud, it does sound weird. But is it wrong for you to say that? Hell no, it is not wrong, because this little girl's mom is no longer there. You are having to go through things and put yourself in the role of a mother, a role that you never expected to have to be in. Because this little girl is now growing up without a mother. So let's say her senior prom. Now what? You're going to take your daughter senior prom shopping, which is probably something she always dreamed she would be doing with her mother, and just being like, hey, Dad, can you send me $757 for this dress? Bam. See, I'm just giving you that
very specific number.
Because that's it. Hey, Dad, we need to start planning my prom send off. So you know what I'm saying? So that's something that a mom has done. Now that it's just you fulfilling that role, yes, for you to say that out loud, women may be like, what? Like, it does sound weird. Is it wrong for you to say that? Fuck no, it's not wrong, because you're having to do that role.
So let me ask you this.
It does sound strange.
Let me ask you this. So again, but
I do commend you.
But for what you were just saying, does it sound strange as a guy if a guy approaches you and he's acting feminine and he says, well, when I meet a strong enough woman, then I'll step into my masculinity. But until I'm with, until I'm with a woman, then I'm gonna. Doesn't that sound strange?
So here's the thing with that. So if he comes to me and he is very, very, because I see exactly where you're going with that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah. Because there's a difference. Because like me, I think I kind of go off some tomboy energy from time to time. So if he comes to me and he's like, I'm until I find like exactly what you said, but he's really giving girl energy, then I'm kind of just like, I'm gonna question it. Okay, so why? I'm probably gonna ask him, why are you giving so much feminine energy? Like, what makes you feel like you have to give that? I'm gonna ask him because you know what? His situation may be your situation.
Now, flip that. Look at masculinity. Joey, I'm gonna ask you a question. In the course of a day, how many times have you heard or read, I'm in my masculine until I find a strong enough man that puts me in my feminine, or optional femininity, or conditional femininity in a day?
I'm gonna answer that question, but I kind of want to get in on this because
Get in, brother.
here's the thing, right? On one hand, we're saying that masculinity and femininity are not equal, and therefore they do not have the same tenets of being able to pick and choose. So a woman has the right or the ability to choose to be feminine or masculine at any point, and it does not affect who she is or what she stands for or what she's about. But a man is not afforded those same opportunities to do so. So and I'm gonna offer some pushback on that, but anybody can chime in on this. But wouldn't that also be like saying to some degree that masculinity is more essential for survival if you have to pick to be masculine to go through and exist, and femininity is put on the back burner?
Because it's not a
So
necessity in the structure of a society. It's a
it's
necessity to continue a
so
society.
so if that's the case, if we really value masculinity, men and women, more than femininity, why do we care what makes a man or a woman? Because ultimately the thing is, who's the most dominant mother out there at the end of the day? It doesn't matter how feminine you are, because at the end of the day, for survival, which is what we all have to do in this thing, especially as black people, that's the only thing that really matters. If you can flip flop, great. We're not allowed to flip flop. We don't have the choice or access to be feminine because it, one, lowers our social standing for dating and
And
maybe
with other men.
that too. So we don't get that. We don't get the ability to do that. I get what everybody here is saying. But I think it really cheapens it if we say, okay, you get to flip flop at any given time. Going back to our conversation a month ago, we were talking about what makes a woman. Well, part of that we hit on transitioning. So aren't you kind of lightly transitioning to benefit you? Like, so what? So are we? Who are we to have the moral high ground at that point to talk about someone's transitioning, to talk about someone's identity, if we could choose to be masculine or feminine to fit our needs at any given time?
Well, I'm the head of my household. I mean, if we look
I
back,
think we all are.
we like, oh, like we had a man here. My dad paid all of the bills. He was the provider. With the woo. If somebody tried to break in, he was the protector. All right. So in this apartment, I'm the provider. If somebody break in, I'm the protector.
But stop. If there's a man there, Lucy, I'm your friend. We ain't never been nothing beyond friends. If I'm over at your house and it's me, you, and Kendra, and somebody kick in your door, automatically I'm looked at, these two women that I'm not fucking, I'm not with or nothing, but I'm looked at to go and potentially be shot in the face.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
because I'm gonna be out
Just as
the
my
window.
role.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Now, if you want to take that moment to step into your feminine, James, you do that.
You go right ahead.
I got us. I got us. If you want to step into
We're
your
gonna
feminine and
get
jump in
killed. You
Kendra's
go,
arm,
Lucy, you
if
weigh
you
38 pounds, and you gonna get us killed. And
if
then
you
I'm
wanna
and
jump in
at the end of that
arm,
altercation, I'm gonna still end up. So I might as well go out there now. Then sit there and wait for you
you
and
gonna
wait for
be
him to shoot you
hugging
in your
Kendra
face.
because you want to step into your feminine, and I'm gonna have to go get my little pew pew and try to solve us. Because I'm gonna have to lightly transition into my masculine for 5 minutes to kill the killer.
But you
But
know what?
go
You
ahead,
know
Joey.
what just happened, right? We all just admitted that a man's role is not allowed to change ever. At the end of the day, we're sitting here in the conversation is what makes a man. A man cannot be, you cannot be
Nothing
Anything
else.
deemed a
but.
man if you do not get out there first and take that bullet
Thank
and put your life on the line. Period. So
every
at the end of the day, like that is like we talking about manhood, that has to be on the table. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we hear talk about, oh, well, my husband stays at home and he watches the kids and stuff, and he a certified bitch. But at the end of the day, you got to be out. You got to be ready to take that bullet. No woman, no matter how much she flip flop between being a man and a woman and these energies, is trying to go out there and take that bullet
Nope.
first.
So
Period.
my teacher today said, okay, so she is, I think she said she almost 40. She got 2 boys and she got a husband. So I know that she works at I guess a surgery, oncology, whatever. She's a massage therapist, physical therapist, CLT, all of that. In the midst of her talking today, she was talking about her husband. She was like, oh, because he's a stay-at-home dad. And I was like, wow. I wonder why. Like, was he hurt or something to where he can't work and now she's a sole provider? Because she was saying, like, I have to like do things like extra, like teaching or whatever, because he is staying at home with the boys. I kind of thought something must have been wrong. Why he not? And then Joey said a stay-at-home dad is a certified bitch. And I just wondered if a killer was coming in, would he get up?
Oh, he's still expected. Even though he stay at home, he's still expected
See,
to
let
go
me give
take
it to
that
you like
bullet.
this. Let me give it to you like this.
I'm gonna even reach to
Men's
that nightstand for that gun.
men's roles, men's masculinity is looked at in the same way as a woman who is infertile or has fertility issues. He is deemed as less than his other counterparts. He is automatically put on a lower pecking order. Think about that. You say a stay at home dad, everybody in Texas just got up in a knot and walked off and said, I'm through with this. Like that, nobody is sitting there like and anointed. It's like, oh, you are a great male. You're a great man. You stay at home and raise your kids. No, we all said you's a bitch. Regardless. Now, if you physically hurt and stuff, all right, cool. But that's at the end of the day, you still looked at as less. You're not looked at as like the full package of a man, regardless of what it is, whether you have an ailment or otherwise, you're going through hard times. No, if you as a woman, you got a man, and he lose his job, he better be doing what? Looking for another. You might say, all right, you get like a day or two, maybe to relax for a bit, but you better be putting in applications because life goes on. And just because you lost this opportunity, don't mean you can't get another one. We as men, this is a double standard, and we probably need to do a whole episode about double standards.
Oh, we are.
But as a man, if I want to lose that job, baby, do whatever you need to do. We got you.
Because
That
we're
it,
built to provide.
the
Like it's in our
expectation.
body. Yeah, it's expected of us. This is why I tell women.
Here's a question.
Go ahead.
Okay.
You over there eating cookies?
While you over there eating good,
Y'all haven't eaten all day.
Eating cookies and shit.
Chipotle. This is not sponsored by Chipotle. But anyways, what happens when a man is not raised like that though? when a
What do you
man
mean?
is raised that he is to be taken care of.
What man? But let me ask you a question. I've never seen a scenario where a man, because what happens is, as a man, if you're a loser, the world is going to let you know this. And let me explain to you why. Women aren't going to fuck with you, and other men are not going to respect you.
Well, let me tell you about
So,
somebody I know that is getting her head knocked between the washer and motherfucking dryer. We a dude that ain't got no job and he done got her pregnant and she
That
worked
that tells what she thinks about herself.
she work at a fast food place. And I was like, why the fuck is this happening? Because I want to get on here and type, this nigga is a zero. And why are you doing this happening? But
I know some girl who, college graduate, damn good job, married this man-ish man. He works 10 hours a week,
must be nice.
gets paid barely minimum wage. He's had several opportunities to get damn good jobs, refuses, and they got a house. And I'm looking at her like, and he got the nerve to wear the pants, and I mean, I just be like,
but this goes to what Joey just got through saying, is that even based off of what y'all saying, a man's role is it's steady. It never changes. Even if he's not doing it, people look at him different. To
Not
where
just that, not just that, but in the first go round, I was also saying, look, women also get to dictate to some degree what kind of masculinity or manhood fits into their life to a certain degree. Now, we may look at that situation and say, that's a sorry motherfucker. Like that.
I know
And
I do.
she's shiesty for even choosing to do that, for whatever the case may be. But there is some need being met, whether it's a good need or bad need. Maybe there's some therapy that needs to be had to figure out why that situation is going on. I don't know. Or maybe he's, beef stroking off in her at night. I don't know. Maybe that's what she needs. And we're at that point in society. Who are we to tell someone what
Right,
their needs are to be met? Right? We're not allowed to say these things, but
right.
we're saying them because we're overly opinionated, right? Follow us and subscribe to us on all major platforms.
That's the
But
plug right there.
slid that one in right quick. He slid it. I
yeah,
like
yeah.
how you did
But
that.
The plug.
but that it does not matter. Like there's what a man is in society's perspective. There's what men view men to be, and there's what women view men to be. And even in that segment of what women view men to be, there is a slot there for need for individual satisfaction, whatever that is. That dude, we don't know what that whole situation is about. But I guarantee you one thing: if he's knocking it out the park at night, she might be putting up or allowing this because, hey, that may be all she needs from him.
So let me ask y'all this: Do y'all as men, or men in y'all's man circle, man cave, man world, man zone, whatever y'all call it,
I don't got none of that.
do you and your crew
Yeah, got a crew.
check each other, hold each other accountable?
So I'm glad you asked that. I have a friend, and I have a friend, still my friend to this day. And whenever it came to being a father for his kids, he always had excuses. It was the baby mamas, and the baby mama be tripping. And for me, I don't have any sympathy for that, because my kids' mama not the best in the world. They're not the worst, they're not the best. But I'm a put up with whatever I need to put up with to be involved with my children. So
Right.
you don't get no understanding from you telling me, oh, well, my baby mama, and like, okay, whatever. But this friend that I have, he's real finicky when it comes to dealing with the kids. But I remember he was working, he has a dog or two. And I remember this man, we were in another state and he left and had to leave to come back and take care of his dog. And he left to come back to take care of his dog. And I looked at him a different way because I'm like, you went out of your way for a dog, but you wouldn't do that same. Now, me and this person are no longer friends to that level no more because I look at, so I'm not going, your personal decision is your personal decision.
Mhm.
It just dictates how I deal with you. So I no longer look at you the way I view men that I deal with. So we can be cordial and, you know, hey, what's up when I'm around, but we'll never get to that level again because I don't respect the man in you.
Right.
So yeah, I
Okay.
check all my male friends. I've had a male friend that I felt like he had a really awesome wife. I knew his wife, knew her longer than I knew him. I was around their marriage, so it wasn't like an outside looking in. I was goddaddy to the kids. And I checked him on, hey, bro, it's brothers out here that would kill for your situation.
Mhm.
And you out here cheating 90 to nothing.
Find it enough.
But ready to go bust her head and kill yourself if she talk on the phone to another man. That's a mental thing for me. If you're in a situation where I'm gonna be out here cheating on this woman every day, but if she talked to another man, I'm ready to kill her and kill myself.
Wow.
Because that's I don't want you, but I don't want nobody else to have you. I'm not gonna treat you right, but I ain't gonna allow nobody else to do it either.
Right.
I'll say this too, and I think James will agree with me here. Like for men in men's circles, once you've been labeled a certain way, you can't come around us. Like
Mhm.
I've seen women who will party and hang out with chicks that they got,
Totally disagree with what they do.
Like no, they ain't right, but will sit there, hang out, party with them. But there's certain dudes like when you get labeled that way,
Mm-hmm. Oh,
you're
we
done.
exile you.
You cannot fuck with us the same.
Yeah.
And as far as the accountability thing, I'll say this too. Here's another caveat with that. While while we do have relationships with other men, pause. It okay. There's still that threat of confrontation, even with accountability.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is something else that even when we are being accountable with each other, we still have to be cautious of in the back of our head. So we are accountable with other males, but it also won't necessarily look the same if you're not around them or have not been in that circle. Or if you're out, or if you're a lady on the outside looking in, the way you hold a woman accountable may not be the way we hold a man accountable.
Yeah.
Right.
We may just straight up sanction dude. Dude can't get access to nothing that we got going on anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Feel
And
that.
dude might really be like, okay, I don't want to be around them cats either because if I show up, they might come in my head.
Right.
So there's again that threat perception that we have there as men. We're much more prone to violence.
Very. Men are
That
very
that
destructive
thing
creatures.
that is always a subcontext of any interaction we have with men. Now, to some of the points you were making earlier, there are some dudes who are raised as effeminate as fuck, and they don't have that thing. And you will sit there, see them get out there and yell and act all rowdy and stuff. They don't have that thing in them telling them, look, this may not end well for you. We probably seen the video, dude talking, go, oh, blah, 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 and they be the first one to get knocked out
Yeah.
every single time. And that's why I say you typically can tell men who have been raised by other men versus men who have not been raised by men. It is a very, I think, obvious contrast in the way that they go about dealing with and engaging with life and things of that nature.
Because pause, wait a minute. Because Joey, what you just said, is the forefront of truth is, again, this is one of those unpopular opinions. I have seen to have a lot of those. The men that women don't like are the same men that they raise. A lot of the men that women don't like, they're raising a lot of those men, and their
I don't know why I
moms
thought
and
you were going to say something
grandmas
else.
and their grandmas and aunties raised a lot of those men.
That sucks.
So it's like a factory. You don't like this man, you're gonna get a boy and you're gonna raise him for what you think, but you're technically gonna raise him to be exactly what it was that you didn't like. Soft, don't stand on his word, irresponsible, not stable, emotionally immature. That's why when you see men that are willing to argue and yell with women, that's emotional immature. I look at a lot of that stuff like, okay, he girl vibes to me. I see it on the internet where you see a dude that's willing to like go deep back and forth to where he calling you all out your name, because as a man, I'm not gonna do that with a woman, and I'm not gonna do that with another man, because again, I don't think the world realizes, and this is one of those things where it comes to men. Men are very destructive creatures since the beginning of time. Very violent, volatile. They've quelled it a lot from through the times of society. As society grows and becomes more moderate, the savagery and the aggressiveness of a man is always being pushed back, to where now boys that are very hyperactive and want to tussle, they're told they have a problem. You should get therapy. When we grew up, that was normal.
Hell, I was fighting.
Me and my brother would fight. I remember I was 12 years old and I hit my brother in the head with a pipe and bust his head bleeding. And I love my brother, like I'm saying, but that's what it was. You don't get a lot of that now. So when you have a rambunctious boy nowadays, he's considered, that's toxic masculinity, and we gotta quell some of that aggression, because again, men are very destructive. I do not think the world, just because of the world we live in, realize that the destructive nature of a male.
Well, I just go back and say, James, that I want to stand on what I said about letting a man lead and allowing him to do that. I know I really spun the block on this, but remember when I said I couldn't remember what I wanted to say, but this is what I want to say right here.
He's back.
I know you said, like, how do women want that when they want the control and everything? I don't. I just don't. And I saw this woman, I think she's a pastor on Instagram, because obviously I'm always on Instagram. But she was like, yeah, I want to submit to my husband, because if my husband submits to God, then I want to submit to my husband. If something goes on, I want to know that you've already talked to God. You've already picked up the phone and talked to God. I want to submit to my husband, to a man that is a man of God, because I know what he stands on. And da 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 da. And I was feeling what she was saying. I really was. And so I agree. I agree with that. And I want to be a part of a union that has, some type of structure. And I want, if me and Harvey are living together or whatever, I want him to have a say so. I want him to, I might have to let him have the last say on a decision.
See what you're saying right there. Wait, stop. Look at what you're saying. I might. You're not even comfortable in saying it yourself, that you can say, and a lot of women can say, oh, I want a man, but so why are there so many 30, 40-year-old women? Because it's easy to say, I want a man to da 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 da. But why do so many women have an issue with doing it if it's something that every woman tends? If you out of their mouth, every woman wants, but their actions never align with that. You're saying I may have to let him. No, if he's the leader, there's no may have to. You have to. Can't be two leaders.
Situational. It's situational because I mean the situation may be which car are we getting? You know what I'm saying? The situation may be, oh, we have to move to this particular place, you know, and even though I may not want to move, that may be what we have to do. And my man has made this decision. Like, I'm not gonna like say, oh, well, I'm gonna just stay here and you can go. Like, no, this is my partner. I have to ride with him on some things. And I know Harvey is the type of guy that will consider.
Stop saying that nigga name.
I love his name. I know he's the type of guy that will consider me and what I think. Because sometimes I'll be right. And
yeah. Well, so we always will consider the thing when we say as a leader.
Always.
But wait, the thing where you say with a leader is
no, you won't.
Yeah, we do, because the thing you say with a leader is if you say A and I say B, then the leader has the final say. If we both say A, then there's no need for a leader. We both agree. But there has to be a final decision.
I have a problem with this conversation because, okay, why are you with a man that you have to think about seeding that to? Like this is just me and my.
Wait, why? What now?
I'm gonna break it down.
I ain't
okay. What I'm asking is why are you with a man that you have to think about ceding that level of power to? What I'm getting at is this, and this is my understanding of dating in the world, you know, in my whatever wisdom, 35 years. If you are dating someone, like to Kendra's point earlier, I really don't think like, you know, you get to show up on a first date and automatically be in charge as a man. I don't think that's how it works. I don't think any man thinks that, right?
No.
I think that there is a certain level of trust between both that has to be earned. And I think that's a whole nother topic we can have, earning trust. But once you step into that point of I am with this person and we are now choosing to cohabitate, that's the caveat. And I am going to be with this person as a woman. Why would you be with a man that has not made you feel comfortable enough?
That's
that
what
where
submission
earlier
is. She want to be able to see. And James was like, why you gotta be able to see?
But the thing, okay, but here's the thing. I think, and this is why I agree with James. I think some women make that come off very pushy and very matter of factly about it instead
and not
of just
wait, Joey. Not just that mentality that Lucy just gave, even with the little weird face she making right now, is what. And I feel like women look for an out in anything. So if I get a guy and this doesn't go, then I can always fall back to, well, he didn't show me, or he didn't do, or he didn't. So it's always absolved of the accountability of
what if that's one reason.
But what if it's not? That's always a easy fallback. That's almost a reflex.
It's the truth, nigga. It's just the truth.
But what if it's not though?
A man could easily sit back here.
I would be lying. I would be making some shit up.
But we can't do that, Joey, because theirs not conditional. So if they don't work, it's not the same of saying, well, I didn't submit to him because he didn't do. That's an easy out.
But see, this is why I don't like this conversation, because check this out. The same way she did that, we could also ask, okay, why is it that women always have the more high ground to determine whether someone's leadership or positioning or stuff, the skills is satisfactory? Like, it's always from the position that a woman has the infinite knowledge and knows best, but we don't get that same benefit of the doubt in reverse. Now, if I was going to push back on you for real, that's what I would do. But I ain't trying to go there with this conversation because we've been on here almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then,
We're gonna
but
have
like,
to say
but
this for
our
another one.
Kendra might have a different need. You know what I'm
I
saying?
said that already. Yes.
And I may have a different need. So if
Mhm.
Barbie is doing X, Y, and Z and running us into a damn hole, all
Shouldn't
right,
be with him already. You shouldn't have committed to him with that. But here's the
okay.
thing.
But
Again,
I have seen that
we
he
don't have a problem with that.
Mm-mm.
What he's saying is there's always this inferiority thing placed on the man. Like, okay, you got to see everything about him, but we never hear y'all on the inverse say, okay, we also have to step up and show men this too. So men in
If we
general
ask
would
y'all
not
right
have
now
it.
what y'all show, Lucy, would you making them faces? You won't have a proper answer.
See, men, I
You
think
ask
I
us
think what
what?
James is saying is men would feel better if we had this conversation if women also came to it and said, okay, the same we want to see men be these things before we give these things, but we also have to be as women willing to show these things for
To
men
get these
to also
things.
accept and pick us. What's good for the goose is
well,
good for the gander.
how y'all know I ain't done that in my relationship? How y'all
We
know?
ain't talking about
We
you
don't know
personally,
if you don't
girl.
talk about it, and that's the point. It's not
Ain't
talked
nobody
about.
talking about you.
Because
Okay, so
honestly,
I will say this. So in some of the groups that we have, that some of us are members of, this is a constant circle conversation that everyone knows annoys the fudge out of me. Next to what do you bring to the table? Like, I'm gonna bring a knife and a fork in my appetite.
I hate that
What's
shitty
left
ass
of it?
question.
Those two questions, and why aren't relationships working like Big Mama and them? Well, Big Mama, your grandpa and great grandpa. That's why when they pass away, you got like 6 other uncles and
But
great
why
uncles.
is that? Stop right there. Why is it that whenever we discuss why relate, that's always the go-to? Because the women back there was putting up with. What about the women that
No,
wasn't?
I'm just saying, like, those are the 3 questions. But what I'm saying is, in those groups, to get back to the original thing, the whole submission thing is, I think, and this may come with maturity or the way it is. Okay, so I'm just gonna throw it out. Okay, because I'm so tired of hearing about it.
Shake it up, throw it out there.
The whole Kiki Palmer and her baby daddy
Uh-oh,
situation.
cook, Kendra.
Okay. Yes, because I was livid. Okay, so one of these groups, like, there were so many red flags thrown. Like, I didn't even want to get into it. I just started posting red flags, like, every time I saw a comment. Because to me, I was like, oh, I see why some of y'all are single. Like, this is like for the men and the women, because some of the comments were just like, well, if that was my man, well, if that was my woman. And I was just like, and so
Everybody
I just think,
giving you a hypothetical, the what
right.
if.
And so for me, I just think when a man and a woman are interested in each other, the whole submission thing, it's to each his own. And I think some people may look at it as a test and as a game. And maybe for men, they feel like,
What do you
why
wait? Stop,
does it
stop. What do you
always
mean? What do you mean when you say the whole submission thing is
like I think, like, when it says a woman is supposed to submit, I think for some women that's a trigger word. Like, oh, so I'm just supposed to drop everything and do what you do, like this is coming to America, bark like a dog, a big dog, like that. Like, no, it's not like I'm your slave. But then I also think that, like, so that's what I think it is for women. I also think men kind of think of it like as, why does it feel like I'm given like the biggest test of my life when it comes to dating, like a woman? Like, I'm supposed to guess what she's looking for. I'm supposed to guess what she wants me to do. And if I guess wrong, it's, oh, he wasn't man enough for me, or, oh, he wasn't this. So I think the whole submission versus man thing, I think that's a communication situation.
well, you know what?
Because,
Kendra, can I say this?
yes, go ahead.
My boyfriend did not want a girlfriend, and I did not want a boyfriend. Okay, we did not want each other. All right, we didn't want it. But there is no way he would have chose me if he didn't see my ability to be smart, to hold my own, to be ambitious, to have
That's not the stuff he was looking for in a woman, Lucy. I'm sorry. There's no, the stuff you just named is what women look for in men.
I'm gonna just tell you what he said.
I'm just saying. I mean, that's what he
Okay,
said.
James, I swear to God, you think you are every man.
Because he your man.
Ooh, I'm every man. It's all in me. You're not every man, James.
Yeah, okay. Well, you got the Harvey, and so the
Because
Harvey
I
is
said,
the snowflake.
agree to disagree, sir. I said, okay, I'm not making six figures. I'm not I already own a house. You know what I'm saying? The things that society be thinking of that you didn't made it. I don't have that. You know what I'm saying? So I looked at this man like, you know what I'm saying? You smart, you doing this with yourself, you know what I'm saying? Woo. Why me? Because you didn't want nobody. And you found me and thought I was dope because of all these reasons, and you chose me. And I know that you trust me if you needed me. You know I got your back if I need to. You know, if you need something, I'm gonna give it to you, whatever. So on that opposite end with Harvey, because I didn't want a boyfriend, I paid attention to how he treated me when we was in public. And being that he don't live here, I paid attention to his consistency. And so these are characteristics that I see. Okay, like I say, when we in public or when we travel or when we do this and this and that, I'm looking at all these things, knowing that these qualities can be used in different situations, and they may have to be used down the line in our household. So when I think of submission, we know, like she said, it's a trigger word. I'm thinking submission or whatever, but not like that. I'm thinking, can I trust this man?
Right.
With my life? You know what I'm saying? With our child. So these are things that I have paid attention to, and these are things that he has paid attention to, and we came together. Like she said, to each his own. She might have a whole nother different things that she list of different things that she needs, and I have what I need. And so what she needs, Harvey might not be able to do for her, and she's gonna say, he wasn't the man that I needed. He's perfect for me.
Why has this whole general conversation has become about Lucy's relationship with Harvey and her own anecdotal experience?
We was talking about a man's role.
We're speaking of men in general, not Harvey and not Lucy.
I'm talking just like you talk about your situation.
I mean,
what I think is the thing is that I just think that
nigga in love. Jesus.
Yeah. I just think that like it sucks for men, especially if the man is genuinely trying, if he's genuinely wholeheartedly finds a woman whom he's interested in, right? And this girl or woman is interested in him, and she's got like this checkoff list, and the checkoff list is a pet, could be a petty list, right?
Well, she just have to suffer.
Right. And then with this petty checkoff list, this is what she's measuring this man up to. Okay. And then let's say she's dating Joey, and she has this petty checkoff list. They start talking about, the future and relationship and moving in together and marriage. And Joey just mentions like God and, being submissive and stuff like that. Her not truly understanding, because, he's the professor, Dr. Joey, what he's getting at, she now flips out. And now she's like, what? You want me to do da-da-da-da? Now it sucks because Joey was probably prepared to put a ring on it. But she had this petty list, and then submission was a triggerer. And I like the word that Lucy used. Submission is probably just, can I trust Joey with my life? Can I trust Joey with my future? That's really what submission is all about. Like, can I trust you to lead me on the right path? can I trust you not to turn me into Bonnie to your Clyde? Like, I don't want to end up shot up. You know what I'm saying? And I think some people still look at the word submissive as I'm just supposed to say yes and do whatever the hell you want me to do and not. And so I think that's what, and it sucks that as a man that you have some women out there that view submission like that, when submission is just about, can I trust you to lead this household in a positive light? Can I trust you that when I go unemployed, that we're still going to be okay, that we're still going to have a roof over our head? You know what I'm saying? Like just stuff like that. And
So let me ask y'all a question. If there's a woman and a woman makes $120,000 a year, it's a very small percentage of women, then the things that woman looks for in a man, such as a provider, most men don't qualify for that, just based on what she makes, because only 12% of men make that kind of money. So there's a very small percent of men that are going to qualify for her. So her submission. So does submission have a price for every woman? Is there a price tag that's put on your submission? Like, if he has this and he makes this, then I'll submit. If he doesn't have this and make this, then I can't see myself submit.
I think for some women it does. I don't think for all women. I think for some women it probably does.
So let me ask you, would you submit to a guy that make, so wait, we can fix this right now. Kendra, would you submit to a guy that make $4,000 a year?
That makes $4,000.
$40,000, $40,000 a year.
Oh, I thought you said 4,000. I was like, sir.
$40,000 a year.
And if I made 120?
Regardless of what you make, would you submit to a man that make $40,000 a year?
Yeah, what's the problem? He has a job, benefits. We're still good.
So I feel like that's cap. Lucy, would you submit to a man that make $40,000 a year?
Harvey probably make $40,000. I wouldn't know.
Now, you know Harvey don't make $40,000. If y'all taking trips and stuff, you know damn well he don't make $40,000.
He only made
$40,000. That's it. Ain't nothing, no extra.
I know. If he only made $40,000, probably not.
I know.
Because I could not trust him.
Mm-hmm. And what you don't understand is what you saying as a man. I don't disagree with you. 100% feel like a woman, but there is a number on submission. There is okay, I can say, even if that man has all these leadership qualities and all this and that, if he make $40,000 a year, I'm not submitting to him. Even if he has all, go ahead, Joey, because I seen it in your face that you had something to say, and I noticed while ago you took your glasses off. Yeah, so I feel like it's gonna get real.
See,
I've already discussed this in certain groups, which I'm not gonna name them right now. But here's the thing, man. Like, submission to me is just a word to weaponize treating somebody real shitty on either end. I will absolutely concede that there are men out there that use that word submission to try to dominate and suppress women. Do I think that is the majority of the bulk of men out there? No, I do not. I think most men out there typically are not looking to, oh, you don't have any power rights. I think that's just maybe one or two dudes you see online acting like nut jobs, and now all of a sudden that's casted on all men to be that way. That's not what that really is. On the submission side, from what most men are looking for, really truly, we just want a chick that is going to support us, speak life into us, got our back, will treat us with respect, and just show genuine love for us and actually believe in us. Okay, we're not asking women to sit here and not properly vet and screen their man. Because Lord knows, we got plenty of that going on out here right now.
And don't follow a bum to the end of the earth, because they gonna lead you astray every time. So we're not telling you to do that.
We see this constantly with all this, Kiki Palm and other stuff. We see this stuff all the time. We already know what the deal is. What we want is to know, like, first off, don't pick me as your man if you don't believe in me.
And why?
We should not even be signed. You should not even want to be in a relationship with me until you know you got the goods. So
Exactly.
once you cross over into that point of relationship, I don't want to hear about I don't trust you, I don't trust your judgment. Because the dating process was meant to vet. You're not supposed to just go on one date with a person and be in a relationship with them,
That's
and
what
that's what it is. That's the problem. We want to talk about things, things that have gone away. We forgot how to date properly. People just want to go out there, get something to eat real quick, go home, get in bed, and call it a night, and say, "Hey, we love each other, and now we go together." No, people are not out there
no.
properly vetting the other person to make sure what they got is gold. So when a
I talked
person,
about properly vetting, and James had a problem with it.
but it's again,
No.
it's delivery and its intention and how you go about it. James agrees with you in more ways than you probably think, but James is also hung up too on trying to prove a point. And
Always.
so I get it. But at the end of the day, I think all of us here agree you shouldn't be in a relationship with anybody you don't trust. Period. Submission is a two-way street for me, and the way I identify or call submission is just simply elevating the other person. Simple. It is a very simple thing to do. Sometimes all it is just be like, baby, I love you for everything you've done. How can I serve you today? How can I make your life a little easier? That is submission. But it's so hard for some people out here just to be nice. Some
Yeah.
Women,
people are so fucked up on the inside, they can't just be nice. It's hard to be nice to a person. It's crazy. You can sit there and people are like, oh, why are you being so nice? And it's like, why are you so hard pressed to receive the kindness?
Joey,
It's
don't
what
don't sugarcoat it. You know the
I'm
some
not
people
sugarcoating.
you know the some
This is
people that we talking about.
trust me, we got a laundry list up. But look, I put it like this: I don't date women like that anymore. I had to self-assess and change certain things in my dating criteria and the type of marriage and relationship I wanted to have for myself, so as I don't pick those kind of women anymore. Sometimes it's a you issue and not a them issue. If
Somebody,
every man or every woman is the
hallelujah.
problem, there's something wrong with you. Not
Come on,
every man
Reverend.
is the problem, and not every woman is the problem. If you feel that way, go get some therapy. Go get
Come
some
on,
help. You
Deacon
don't need to be out
Joey.
here dating anybody. Period.
All
I'm,
right.
I'm just saying, it is simple. We do
Hey,
too much of this back and forth and shit, trying to cook each other online because we ain't got shit to do. Motherfuckers sitting up with their cats at home and stuff in front of their PlayStation. Like me, I got mine right here cooking and just be miserable. But I'm not miserable. I'm good. But that's how it is. People, relax. It's a date. Go out there and have fun. You're
Mhm.
allowed to have fun. You're allowed to learn the person. Don't go out there, hey, what's your favorite color? Don't
That's
do
the
that.
stupidest question.
Don't do that. But instead, ask this is the kind of question I want to hear, ladies, on a first date. Joey, if a decision you made directly hurt the family or our kids, how would you hold yourself accountable? That's the kind of question I want to hear on the first date. But I don't get that. I get stupid stuff like, what about the housewives? You watch that? No, I don't. Fuck them. I'm just gonna be honest with
Did you
you.
see what happened with Kiki Palmer? You like,
I don't know. I don't care about her. Fuck her and that nigga too. They doing shit for me. That
yeah,
ain't what my life about.
well, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Overly Opinionated. James,
just cut.
this is your spot. Because
Lucy
this
just
is
cut that. Lucy just cut that nigga off.
I know she being petty.
She just cut that nigga.
Oh,
After pumping you up for about 10 minutes, she
and
I
straight
didn't
gas.
pump her.
Look,
No,
she just straight
no.
gaslighted you. She
What I
gaslit the
did
hell
is I
out of you.
cut right down the middle. I sat there and I cut right down the middle. And what I did is I made all the viewers sit there and like, I like that nigga. I'm gonna subscribe. So make sure y'all subscribe to the channel and come back and hear more of the talking points of everybody on the panel,
this is going to be
especially me because I know y'all like my beard.
a
Hallelujah.
video.
So come back,
Joey, can't
come
nobody
see
even
us.
see your beard because we ain't got enough lighting.
First off, don't talk about my poverty. I mean my life. All right, leave that alone.
Not his
I
poverty.
would just like to make an announcement. Joey has really good eyebrows, and I'm jealous.
Okay.
Zoom in on them because we can't see it.
Nope.
Look at his eyebrows.
Cover him up,
We
Joe.
don't have eyebrows.
Cover him up, Joe.
Look
Okay.
at the eyebrow.
Yeah, it got a little arm.
So for everyone, we appreciate everybody for sticking with us this long. As I said earlier, everybody had a lot of stuff going on, and so we had a few missed episodes to record because people had regular life stuff. But we're trying to get back into the flow of things. We're trying to get more content put out. We appreciate everybody's support. Overly Opinionated on YouTube, on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. You can find us at your local bank next to the candy. We in the grocery store next to the milk. So Overly Opinionated everywhere. We appreciate y'all and thank y'all, and we will see y'all on the next episode.